it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Well, this is Tech for Senior Live. This is September the 28th, the end of the month, getting ready for fall and Christmas. Only 7 more weeks to Christmas. I'm Ron Brown. I'm your host today. We're going to talk about all the news of the week. We're going to talk about the Windows Momentum 4 update. Lots of information about that. And we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun for the next hour. So hopefully everyone's got their coffee. Bob's got all sorts of things to talk about. He's got a whole bunch of stuff he's going to talk. Well, anyway, before we get to that, let me tell you who we are. We're a bunch of fun-loving seniors that have a show on Monday. And that's our big show. We've been doing it for 4 years. If you want to come and watch, let me just put our website up. It's www.techforsenior.com. Details there. Come and join us on Monday. It's a Zoom meeting, and we have a lot of fun. It's the details you can find there, and we've been doing it, I said, for 4 years. But we have so much fun, and we just can't stop talking about technology. We decided to do another show, and that's the show today, where we're talking about all the news of the week. Now, the only thing about this show is it's not a Zoom meeting. So all of you that I'm watching over on the other screen here that have logged into our Zoom account hoping to find the show, well, we'll see you Monday because it's not there. We broadcast this through StreamYard out to our YouTube channel and to Facebook. And if you want to find out how to get there, just go to our website. There's a big button there that says take me to the show. Click that and it'll take you right to the right place. Now, the next thing is I'm going to introduce our esteemed panel that we've scoured the world to find, these knowledgeable people that are going to tell us all about the news of the week. But before we introduce them, we'd like to know who you are, because we have no idea if anyone's listening out there, right? The only way we know that you're listening is if you put something in the chat. Maybe tell us your name, maybe where you're from, any questions you have, any comments, put it in there, and we'll discuss it. And that way you help keep the show going, and we know who's out there. Otherwise, we could just be talking to ourselves. So, but that's okay, because we have a lot of fun talking about all the news of the week. We're sort of techies, which is great. Now let me introduce the cast of thousands, or cast of, what do we call you guys? Anyway, it's actually the cast of 3, right? Because of course Ray Baxter is away. I think Ray's going to be back next week. I think because next week will be October, so I think he's been away for 4 weeks. So maybe he'll be back next week. We hope he'll be back. I know he's probably listening to this. Ray, if you're out there, give us a sign. Let us know if you'll be back next week. All right, I'm Ron Brown. I live on a little island off the west coast of Canada called Vancouver Island, and I live in a little place called Comox, in a little shack by the sea, and I've got a little old internet connection to my house, which lets me do all the broadcasting. And that's where I'm from. Huey, you are from a bigger center. You're from another country, another side of the world. You are from Bradenton, Florida.
Yep, right off the Gulf of Mexico.
Right. Are you getting any hurricanes now, or what's happening over there? Are you?
It's been quiet. We still
Oh,
have a
really?
couple of more months. We still have a couple of more months of season, but we'll see. And but September is usually the height of it, and we got through September okay. So
Mhm. Here we
we
go.
just keep our fingers crossed.
Right. Okay. And then, of course, welcome back to our favorite techie guy, their security expert, the man who's so smart. He's back to his old self now, putting out about 4 or 5 videos a day. He's like the Easter bunny that just keeps going and going and going. Bob Gustisha, welcome back, Bob. We missed you.
Thank you.
We
Yeah, well, speaking of security, October is Cybersecurity
That's right.
Awareness
That's
Month,
that's right.
and I have quite a few presentations scheduled for October. So I will be like the Easter Bunny, hopping all over the place. And,
There you go. It's lucky you took a couple of weeks off to have a nice relaxing time,
yep,
so you can come back. You're all energized now, right?
yep. But I enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
There you go. There you go. Yep, that is for sure. I remember last year when you went on that cruise and you didn't miss a show, and you had all the even from the cruise you were on, even did a Tech for Senior live with us from the
Yeah, that was
cruise.
actually January of this year.
Oh, was it January? Okay, all right.
January. Yep.
Well, yeah, almost a year ago. Yeah, that's great. All right, that's good. Huey, before we get on and talk about things, is there anyone out there listening?
Yep, I do want to mention tomorrow I am going to attend a TED Talk day. I'm going to do it virtually. Bradenton has their own TED Talk, and I've never been to one. If you go, and it's actually right down the road from me, but they want $95, and I got to uh, get all dressed up and get out of the house. And I have a meeting in the afternoon anyway, so I'm going to have to take an hour for it. So the rest of the day, I'm going to just watch virtually some of the TED Talks and see what they're like, see what they do here locally for them. Because I love watching some of them are really interesting. And these people spend a lot of time practicing and getting their speech down pat. And I think they have 10 or 15 minutes
Right.
and with no script, nothing to read on the screen or anything, and they do a pretty good job.
Just
So
like Tech,
anyway,
just like Tech for Senior Live.
oh
No
yeah,
rehearsal, no rehearsal, no notes, no nothing, right?
okay. Let's see who's out there.
Oh, Ed's here. Good. Hi, Ed. 61 degrees, cloudy in central New Jersey. Gerald Smith, West Seattle, 53 degrees and cloudy. Gerald was kind enough to bring Helen up to my house last week, no, 2 weeks ago, and we had a nice lunch on our little shack by the sea, and yeah, and it was nice to meet Gerald. He's been a longtime supporter of Tech for Senior. Very interesting girlfriend that was Helen. Really neat. So we had a really good time. If you are in the area, drop by and see me. Murray Strom, good morning from Victoria, BC, where it now feels like autumn. Yes, it's overcast and about 50 degrees. It's foggy up here, Murray, so we might send some fog down there. Good morning. Yep, we just saw that.
Okay, yeah, you had two of them, I guess.
Mike Lehman from Moncton, New Brunswick, 50 degrees centigrade and clear. Welcome, Mike. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 54 degrees and cloudy. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computing Club, Detroit, Michigan. Welcome. Good morning. Murray says, I could not call our island little, but I guess compared to Australia or Greenland, it might be considered. Murray, I always say that so that people don't come. You know, we don't want to tell them it's a great place to live. We have enough people on the island. So that's why I do that.
Yeah, I think we're going to put a sign up at the Georgia-Florida border saying full.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
They're moving down to Florida like crazy, right? Yeah.
1,000 people a day are moving
Really?
here.
Oh my gosh. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. May get to 60 light rain, looking for 64 degrees Fahrenheit Sunday. We're going to warm up a bit. Sally from Kirkland, Washington. We had lots of rain. Yes. I think our water restrictions are going to be going away pretty soon, at least in our area as well. We were on water, class 3 water restrictions. Murray says you can keep the fog up there. Dick Vogel, Sanford, Florida, has pretty soggy for the last few days. More rain expected today.
Yeah, we keep saying that it keeps saying that we're going to get rain, but we just get a little bit and enough to make us thirsty for more, and then don't get it.
Yeah, it's
So
it's
we're just I'm 120 miles from Orlando, and they're getting a lot of rain, and we're not getting much of any because we're on the coast, and usually Central Florida gets a lot more rain than either of the coasts.
all right. So let's get on with it, people. Let's talk about one of the first. So the first thing I want to talk about today is momentum. Now, Huey,
Moment.
Sorry, it's right. So I got to get this right. Moment. Now, can you guys explain, or maybe start with Huey, what a moment is? Now, we're going to talk about, of course, Windows 11 update with Copilot just dropped. Now, can you guys explain for everybody? We all know what Windows is and Windows 11, but what is a moment? Can you guys explain this? This is moment. This is moment 4. So
It's a moment to remember in Microsoft history, because they did come out with quite a few improvements in Windows 11, and some of them actually work in Windows 10.
Right.
Yeah, instead of calling it a major update, they just call it a moment.
So there's been 4. So remember, Microsoft has this long history of screwing up updates and trying to name them. They can't even figure out how to name updates, right? Remember, there's a long history to this, and we've talked about it in many times before. But now the main feature updates are feature updates, and the moments are little moments that they're updating through the year. Is that okay? So just want to let everyone know. So it's because it's sometimes confusing. And this is called moment 4, correct?
Right. The major update won't happen until November.
All right. Now
the way I understand it to be is moment 4. There were 2 files, not 2 files, but 2 updates that came yesterday. Connected. There were 2 knowledge base numbers, and you had to download each of them, and they didn't come at once. You got one, and then it got the other one.
Okay.
And that brought you to moment 4. And then in 2 weeks, there's going to be another update that's going to add to some of the items that dropped yesterday, but weren't complete, or there's only a menu item, or it doesn't even show up yet, but it should in 2 weeks. And then a month later, November 14th is the date I've heard, then it will change from Windows 22 H2 to Windows 23 H2.
Correct. And that is one of the things I want to talk about, is the naming of this, because what we got is 22H2, not 23H2. And so we got moment 4, which is 22H2, or 22H2 at moment 4. Is that right?
Yeah. But, and most of the items that are in it may not be active, but they're all part of the 23H2.
Correct.
So when it comes time in November for us to get 23H2, the only thing that's going to change on that update is going to be the version number.
Right.
They're going to turn on the switches that
they're going to turn a switch on things that are already there.
And if you're an insider, you already have those switches turned on.
Right.
That's basically what you get if you are a Microsoft insider.
Bob, would you explain for the people out there what an insider is?
An insider is a beta tester or an alpha tester, depending on the version that you chose to be a tester for. You get to go and explore all the new features that eventually get released to the actual release in Windows. Some of them might not have ever make it to the final release. And one of the bad features is, if you're a beta tester or an insider, it can happen that you get an update and guess what? Your machine won't boot, or things don't work, or things get screwed up. That's just how, you signed up to be a beta tester and you test new products or new features, and you're asked to report on those new features, good, bad, or indifferent, so that when it finally gets released, there won't be any problems.
So it's not a good idea to
Hopefully.
use your major computer, the one you do all your work on, to be an
Right.
insider
That
on
should
that
not
machine.
be. That should not be on the
Yeah,
insider
absolutely.
version.
Good. Now listen, so
I have 3 computers that are insiders, various stages, and I have one system that's not an insider. That's the current build.
okay. Now, just to let everyone know that um, you need to manually do this. In other words, if you have Windows 11, then what you need to do is you need to actually go into your settings, go into Windows Update, and you need to turn on get the latest version as soon as it's available. Click that, and it will download and install it. So it's not going to happen automatically, and that's something that I think everyone needs to know. And I will tell you that, and I was telling Bob and Huey this earlier, I'm not a big like Windows updates don't really turn me on. They whether the start menu's on the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen, who cares? And however, I must tell you, I did install Momentum 4 yesterday on the one computer just to the left of me here, not on my main computer. And I'm impressed, Bob. I am impressed. Like, I think this is a significant upgrade. So I would encourage you, if you have Windows 11, we're going to talk about some of the features and why I'm going to tell you this. But I think that it is something to do. I think it's worthwhile, and in fact, maybe the thing that's going to push me kicking and screaming to update my Windows 10, my main system, Windows 10 system, into Windows 11. Right.
Yeah,
So
Moments is not an auto update.
right.
It's one that you have to select to install. But I personally like some of the new features that are part
Right.
of Moment.
Right.
It's also my understanding that in 2 weeks, the update then will be automatic, and everyone who has Windows 11 will get it.
Oh, okay. So this is the get and click check the updates. This is the menu that you have, and it will and the install went fine. I had no trouble with the install. It was very easy. And the first thing, of course, you guys, that comes up, and the one that everybody's all excited about, is Copilot. And so you will now have Copilot on the right side of the menu on your Windows desktop. So
When
Not of the menu,
select
but
it.
of the screen. Yeah.
yeah, so
When you select it.
when you so yeah, and so I guess people want to know, what is Copilot, right? Like, what the heck is Copilot? So who wants to discuss that? Do you want to, Huey or Bob? What do you want to do? Who wants to tackle that one?
Copilot is
You
a,
can you can do it as
Copilot
well,
is a
because
search.
you
But
had
it's
Copilot
related.
do it.
Yeah, it's related to what you're looking at. It's also a way of getting AI to help you with a topic,
Okay,
and it's
so
current. It's not September of 2021. It is current information. So if you want to know about something right now, it will have that information if it's out there.
right,
Yeah, Ron even this morning
yeah.
tested
Let me
Copilot by
right.
asking what is Copilot,
So
and it
here's
gave
me a good talk. So here, let me just tell everyone this. So this morning before the show, I went over to my Chat GPT. I have the free version, which is 3.5, right? Which is limited to, I guess, 2021 now, or
September 2021.
September 21. So I asked Copilot, or I asked Chat GPT 3.5, what was the advantages of Windows Copilot, right? And it floundered, and it didn't get it. I write a blog post on that, right? And it didn't do any very good job. So I went over to the Windows 11, and on Copilot, I asked Copilot to write a blog post on the advantages of Copilot in Windows 11. Whoa, boom, it created this great article for me. So where ChatGPT 3.5 failed. So Huey, you said that it uses not only it still uses Chat GPT 3.5, but it also searches the internet for information. Is that
That's my understanding. Yes.
okay? Because it really did a good job, right? It was great, and it's free, and it's all part of the Windows 11, so it did a great job for me. What do you
Chat
guys?
GPT actually didn't flounder. It didn't have the information.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It could have made up the information for you if you'd have worded it in a
Right.
certain way, but at least it told you, hey, I don't know.
Right. So if I had if I paid the $20 a month for Chat GPT 4, then it probably would have got it, eh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It
So
wasn't
like
worth $20 to get that information.
A month.
right. But it is now. Here's the deal, though. It is with Copilot because not only, well, I guess I still use Chat GPT 3.5, but it also broadened it and it searched the internet and got the information and it wrote a real nice article for me about that. Really, I was impressed. It really did a good job.
And it
So
gives you the sources where it finds the information as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So that's cool and it's free. So you don't have to pay. You don't have to upgrade
It's
the 20.
free for now.
Oh, Huey, don't you do this to me.
We don't know.
Yeah.
If you're an enterprise user, they're going to charge $30 a month per user. If you're an individual like us, whether you're a Microsoft 365 user or whether you're or whatever, we don't know. They have not said whether they're going to charge for it, or if so, how much. I'm hearing on some of the videos that I'm watching and some of the podcasts I'm watching where they're talking about it, and they're figuring it may be $10 a month, but it may be for some features. Maybe other features will be free. We don't know. They haven't said one way or the other, so they haven't given us an indication.
All right.
So
Huey's being a pessimist.
I know.
When you
He's
consider
already,
that Microsoft just did away with its companion search, they have to give you something in its place. You're right. It might be deprecated from the full version, but it will be there in one form or another for free.
all right. Paint. Paint is this is another upgrade that occurred. I don't use Paint, but it's got a lot of new features. Huey, do you guys use Paint at all?
I went out and looked at it, and it's not live yet. In the release version, it's not live.
Not like
It's live for me. I have a video on my channel that shows you how you get rid of the background in Paint. Very simple.
So Paint is a drawing program that is inherent in Windows, and they've just made it a whole lot better, which is cool. Now that brings me to another issue that I think is important for people to understand is Copilot, as per Microsoft's video this week. I guess their idea is that this is going to be all encompassing on all their products, but in fact, it doesn't work on my Excel, Word. It doesn't work on all the other
Not yet.
Not yet.
It
But
will.
And that may
will.
be that may be some of what they're going to charge for.
Could be. All right. Now the other thing is Notepad. Today they announced that Notepad. Now the other thing, Notepad actually. No, that's the snipping tool.
You're ahead of
Notepad,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah, Notepad actually automatically saves itself. There's a whole bunch of things that Notepad has changed. So if you are a Notepad user, there are some. Do you use Notepad, Bob? I don't use Notepad.
Take a look at my YouTube channel. You'll find a video on just how that new feature works.
So there's lots of changes.
Yes.
Yeah, but I use Notepad on a regular basis every day,
Oh, yeah?
and it's since I think it was last month or so, that feature of Notepad of it automatically saving and giving it a title and everything has been in effect for about a month now.
About a month. Okay.
Yeah.
And these are some of the new features. There was Paint, Photos, Snipping Tool. We'll talk about some of these. Clipchamp, Smart App Control, a few things there. This is the Snipping Tool, which of course It's going to do character recognition, OCR for you. So if you copy something, it'll do an OCR for you and turn it into text, which is sort of cool.
Yeah, and it also will read anything that's on a picture, a JPEG, and then give you the text as text. But it's again, I played with it this morning. It's not there yet on the release version, but on the insider version, I believe it is.
If you're using PowerPoint, it's been available for a while already.
Right, Filex. The other one that I wanted to is this? Yeah, we're going to run out of time. But I just wanted to let people know about the Windows backup application. This was one of the features that I really liked in this new version, and they've really changed the backup options that make it very easy to back up your folders. And it's
an
super,
additional option.
right. It is so cool. It really does work well.
Yep. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find a video.
About it. There you go.
We're going to have to get a little line underneath his name saying,
That's right.
Go check my
All right.
YouTube channel. There's a video on it.
My videos, when it's a tutorial, it's hands-on. It's not a lots of text. It's an actual doing of what I'm demonstrating. Right. So you should be able to just follow along, pause, and do it yourself.
So the bottom line, just to summarize, because we got to move on, so we will look at all the articles that we have this week. But just to summarize for everyone, I think we're all excited about this. I think Momentum 4 is something you should do. I think it's I think that there's a lot of new features. Bob has lots of videos about this, so go for it. You know, but remember, you have to do this manually. You got to go in and tick off that little button, say update, and make sure you do it. But I think it's worth doing, eh?
And just in case, because your computer will know you haven't done a backup, make sure you back up before you do it.
Right. Okay. All right. Any comments, Huey, before we move on to the articles?
Let's see where I am here. Right here.
Brian, sunny, 65 degrees in Peterborough, Canada. Betty, hello, Betty from Clearwater, Florida. Geek Wireless finally logged into the correct day, Thursday versus Monday. Hey! Yes, we're here. Vale Williams, my old buddy, if you are a 365 subscriber, Copilot will be included. There you go. I am a 365 subscriber. For those who are interested, Raspberry Pi 5 will be released in October.
And that catches us up.
That catches up. Right. Let's move on and get on with our articles we want to look at. Let's, I'll just come over here, share my screen, and we'll share this. And let's see if we can maybe make this a little bit bigger for everyone. Let's see here. All right, let's come down and find the first article. Now, Hugh, we can't. I'll let you you take over this one.
Okay. This was just posted this morning by Paul Thurrott. Microsoft quietly kills free Windows 10 and 11 upgrades from Windows 7 or 8. So if you're on Windows 7 or 8, you're not going to get free updates to Windows 10 or 11 now.
Ron, can I ask you to do another refresh, please?
Sure. Did you sneak something in ahead of us here?
Then I need to do that as well. He snuck one in on us, I guess, Ron.
I think so. Windows, do you notice Facebook's awful slow in updating lately?
Yeah, good. It's not just me. Okay.
It's really, man, that's driving me crazy. Come on, Facebook. Buy some more RAM or something. Oh, guess who's got one? Okay, so another video. Do you want to mention just briefly 5 Social Security scams? And
how it's a video on 5 Social Security scams, the most prevalent scams, and how to avoid them.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
And since most of us are seniors, in tech for seniors, this affects all of us.
It does. Huey, just to
That-
follow up on comment on this article about Windows 7 and 8, I would expect people who had Windows 7 are probably using on a very, very old computer. As with Bob, I have a video, part one and part two, on purchase considerations for a new PC. It's on our YouTube channel. We should, if you're interested, and because we're coming into Black Friday and good times to buy computers, then you might want to watch that. You may consider a Chromebook. I will be having a video out, not this week, but next week, on purchase considerations for a new Chromebook. So if you are thinking about, you really need to move on if you have Windows 7, right, Huey?
Yep. The next one is yours, Ron. So we now, in the first three items, each of us has one.
There you go. Well planned. Until Ray comes back next week,
Yeah.
and then he'll have the first three all the time, right? Amazon says you might have to pay for Alexa's AI feature in AI features in the future. Now, this is very interesting talk because, as you well know, Amazon hasn't made any money on their Miss A devices. Period. None of their division has made any money. So I guess they're trying to figure out how they're going to make some money, and maybe getting you to pay for AI is going to work. I don't know about that. That's a good discussion we can have in the future, but this may obviously what's going to happen is as they add AI to Miss A, it's going to become more of a personal companion to you. You can sit and talk to it all day, right? It'll be more like a personal companion for you.
The feature that they're talking about is the one that helps protect your home when you're gone.
Right.
And some of the features within that currently are free. They're going to get rid of the free version and make it a paid version. When that happens, I might be saying, hey, Google, how about your companion? It works just the same as the one from Amazon.
I know. So, well, it'll be very interesting to see.
Power of the purse.
Yes, indeed, Bob. You're right. Yes. Now, this was a very interesting Google Pixel. Yes. This is a very interesting article, which you should watch. And we talk a lot about Pixel phones, and Pixel gets a big how will I put it? They get a lot of play on what their new Pixel phones, and of course, we'll be talking all about the Pixel 8 next week, right? But actually, if you look at the market share that Pixel and Google have, it's extremely small. Like, you're talking about 4% of the smartphone market in North America. Now, if you look at and this is the data in this article, and I'm not going to go into the data, but when you consider, the obviously the biggest is Samsung and Apple, right? They make you're talking about big amounts of phones. With Pixel, very, very tiny, really tiny amount of phones that are sold compared to the larger ones. And this is a very interesting article on the numbers, and I think this is really cool. So anyway, just for information on that.
Isn't this referring to the size of the phones? The only
No.
one that's not shrinking in size?
No. This is about the numbers.
Ah, okay. So they didn't flounder.
No. Well, no, but they don't have a very big part of the market.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a very small part of the market. That's the point. Like,
They
really,
didn't flounder, did they group her?
Yeah, you're right. This is an article. You can look how to install the Windows 11 Moment 4 update and what you'll get if you do. And I think we've covered that.
There's a lot of articles. Every major technical column is having articles about this right now. So, read a couple of them so you kind of understand what's going on if you're not totally sure. And the rest of them you probably can just kind of glance at.
I think, Huey, I mean, I didn't have any trouble doing it. It's super simple. I don't to write a whole article about it. It seems a bit much.
Well, some of them, that's what they get paid for, so that's why they write an article.
It really is. We don't want to scare anyone off. This is really easy to do, guys. It's really.
I timed it out. Mine was about 35 minutes to do.
Was it?
Yeah.
Ron, I find your next article kind of. You're already talking about removing Windows Copilot for 99.999%. It hasn't been installed yet.
I know. Well, it for whatever reason, if the Copilot comes up and you think it's going to steal your firstborn or something like that, and you think it's going to be intrusive, in actual fact, it's just a button, a switch, and you can turn it off. I don't know how someone can write a whole article about this, but it is. You're right, Bob. Why would anyone want to do that? But there
And
are.
it doesn't pop up on its own. You have to select it.
But you can actually turn it off with the toggle switch, so
Correct.
it's real simple to do.
Over the years, whenever Microsoft came up with a new version, someone would come out with a utility that says, this answers the question of what Microsoft forgot to include.
Right.
If they do include it, then they'll come up with an article. This is how to get rid of that if you don't want to have it.
Right.
And
Again,
the third one says, this is how you make Windows 11 look like Windows 10.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys have to have something to write about.
That's right. Now, this is actually a really good article, which I looked at, and we talked a bit about this, how to set up and use the Windows Backup app, because this is really good. I know, Bob, you've got an article about it. This is an article. You got a video about it.
I have a video, right?
Yeah. And so
And
this
I use it.
Yeah. I would encourage you to really pay attention to this, because they've done a good job at this. I am impressed. I'm not often impressed. You know me, but I am impressed at this. This is good stuff. So,
but I would caution people, this should not be your only backup, because it is not a full or an image backup.
Now, I've been using
backup your operating system, so you should have this and a full backup.
For image backups, I've been using Acronis over the years. And if you're a member of a user group, Gene Barlow always had a special deal on it. And mine expires, and I tried to do an upgrade yesterday before I ran the update, and it said it's going to take 1 day and 8 hours. So I said, I think there's something wrong with that version, and I need the latest. So I went out to Gene's website, user group relations, and he's got the latest version on sale, user group price at $25. And so I went ahead and purchased it. I just got the license this morning, and I haven't installed the latest version. Then we'll see how long it takes. That I do an image backup using Acronis, and then I have OneDrive, which automatically every night at 11 o'clock goes out, and anything that's been updated on my machine, any data, gets updated to the cloud, to OneDrive's cloud, and then or I'm sorry, yeah, is it OneDrive? Yeah, and then I also back up a lot of it to the Microsoft system. So I'm backing up in several places, and now I want to try their backup program as well.
OneDrive is Microsoft's system.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what it's called. The oh gosh, I always get it confused, and I've got to look here. There it is.
And the new Windows backup, that
and of course they don't. Yeah,
OneDrive.
Yeah, they don't say what it is. They just say backup. Anyway, it's another cloud system that I pay for, and that I store. I've got to think about half of my. I think it's 5 terabytes they give you, or something like that. And I think I've got it about half full.
Okay, Amazon Alexa, Miss A becoming more human-like through AI. This is the article that I was looking at, and really this is going to be sort of cool in that, particularly with seniors, they often like to talk to their Miss A devices, and you can chat and talk, and it'll answer and become your best friend, and it learns all about you and can ask you how the kids are doing, and it remembers their names and all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting that as these systems develop, so this will be fun. I know that I'm going through the house, and oftentimes my Miss A device will say, "Hey, And I say, what? Hey, and they'll say, do you want to order this coffee that you ordered a couple of months ago? I think you're a little low now. And I say, okay. And, so it's sort of interesting. Anyway, just to let you know, Chrome OS 117, if you have a Chromebook, rolls out with a new look.
Yeah, mine updated, and my Flex machine is at 118.
Pretty cool. So just let you know, Chrome OS, if you have a Chromebook, please make sure that you check if you haven't turned it off and turned it on, and you're just closing the lid, manually update it, because 117 is pretty cool. There's some really, I'm going to do a video about this, and we'll be talking about it on our Monday show, but there are some really cool features. It looks and feels a lot different. This is a very interesting update. Now, can you tell me what this article is? I can't. This is, of course, blocked by the Canadian government.
Yeah, Disney Plus starts password sharing crackdown ahead of November price
Right.
increase.
So those of you who have Disney Plus and are sharing your password, then you're going to have some trouble. So this is they're starting the big crackdown on password sharing. So just to let you know that if you have that service and you are sharing your password with your kids, you could be getting into some problems. Just it was a sort of an information thing.
Yeah, you've got three of them out there. The same one.
Say, is it the same one? Okay.
Yeah.
And Huey, what's Anthropic?
Anthropic is an AI program. It features Claude.ai. It's the company is Anthropic, and Google just invested about 10% of their money into Amazon or into Anthropic, and now Amazon has purchased them for $4 billion. And it's another AI chat type program, but it allows for a lot bigger materials that it creates or that it will read and summarize for you. And it's just an amazing program, and it's free for now anyway.
But not available in Canada.
Did not know that.
Well, Anthropic.
Well, that's right. I did know because you tried it earlier.
We tried it this morning. We tried Claude.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work in Canada.
And so I would recommend, if somebody wants a free chat program to try in Canada or even in the US, is Perplexity.
Right.
.ai, which I also use on a regular basis.
So to add to, just to follow up what we talked about earlier, when Hugh and I were working on this before the show, I signed up for Perplexity, which I could, and I asked Perplexity to write a note about Copilot with Windows, and it did. It wrote a nice blog post for me. So I was impressed with Perplexity. So that does work in Canada, and that you might be interested in that. So that's a good one, Huey. That's a good. That's a good one. Maybe we should do a talk about that on our Monday show. That's a couple of good ideas there. And what was, I can't see this article.
That was when you posted. Chat GPT can now search internet to provide more accurate responses, says OpenAI. But I'm sure if you read the article, you probably maybe couldn't read it. But anyway, this is only for the paid version of Chat GPT.
Right.
And that uses 4.0. But if you're using the free version, it's 3.5, and it does not use the internet. And it was still, I understand they have increased the time now. Instead of it being October or September of 2021, it now goes to January of 2022.
Right. But we can get around that now by using Copilot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Copilot's free. See, that's the point that I'm making. There's some cool stuff. Using Copilot does this now, and it is for free. That's a good one. Huey, have we got any more comments in our
let's take a look. I've been looking at my other screen here, so let me see. Here we go. I don't think I showed this. You watching?
Yep.
Brian says sunny and 65 in Peterborough, Canada.
Right. Betty
And Betty says hello from Clearwater, Florida, just north of me.
and Geek Wireless.
Oh
Finally
yeah, so we did. Yeah, he did. I guess we did do those. All right, and then we got
Vale.
Vale.
When Vale told us about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, I guess we're up to date then.
We're up to date. Okay. Coming back, this is an article I posted. ChatGPT restrictions: how to bypass them for an uncensored chatbot. Again, an information article for you. Now, this is an interesting one. Amazon CEO confirms former Microsoft product chief Panos Panay will join online retail giant. So from Microsoft,
we talked about that on Monday, right?
We did.
Yeah, we talked about it Monday, but Panos Panay was a 19-year veteran of Microsoft and is always appeared on their when they introduced new products and so on. He was one that was out there. He was in charge of the Surface program, their hardware program. And so there's some thought that because he's leaving, that may be an indication that they may abandon their Surface hardware, their Surface PCs that they have. But either way, he has joined Amazon and is going to be in charge of their devices, which includes Miss A and all of the new products that came out and so on. He's replacing the fellow that was in charge of that department who just left.
So Paul Thurrott and on Leo Laporte's, Leo Laporte I listen to all the time, and the Windows Weekly was on this week, and Paul Thurrott was on, and Paul Thurrott knows him quite well, and there's a lot of speculation whether he jumped ship or was pushed.
Yeah.
Now, there's no real way to know that, but there's two philosophies on this. So whether he actually jumped or was pushed, we don't know, but will be interesting because, of course, as you know, his division wasn't exactly a moneymaker for Microsoft, and he's going over now to a division that still isn't a moneymaker for Amazon. Hopefully, they're going to be changing some things, so it'll be interesting to see about that. Yes, we talked about that. Huey, this is what's this one about?
Facebook, what's his name from Facebook, did a introduction of a lot of their new AI stuff, the Meta, and
Right.
Facebook and Instagram is soon be getting a slew of AI powered creator tools. And so you're going to be able to take a picture and then make it fancy. You're going to be able to make changes and backgrounds and backdrops and so on. So they're going to do a lot of AI stuff as well in all of the different meta
formats. Yeah.
Formats.
This is getting complicated. I'm getting confused.
Oh, I know. For somebody, I got a call from a friend of mine up in the Panhandle of Florida, and he keeps calling me and say, "What's new?" and complains his user group has folded, and I keep inviting him to see what we're doing. He has no idea of any of this going on. So if he tries to get in there now, it's going to be he's got a lot of work ahead of him to try to catch up with what's going on.
Yeah.
Some of these features, if you watched the Wednesday APCUG show, they were part of the newest release of Apple, because you can do all these things in their new add-on, make all of these fancy emojis that move and do all kinds of things and create them in your own image, sort of. Make them talk, all kinds of stuff. So I guess that technology is what's coming to Facebook.
Yeah, I follow I follow a website called Future Tools, and Future Tools, he keeps a running list of all of the new AI tools that come out each day. And you can go and look at that running list. You can search the website for all the different tools. So you can search it by which ones are free, which ones do image to text to image, which ones do text to video, and so on. And it's just amazing how many new tools are coming out on a daily basis
Yeah,
with
half
all
of
of
our
this.
day is used up looking at all the new stuff.
Oh yeah, and I talk about it too. You jump down a rabbit hole each newsletter I get, looking at the new items to see, number one, what do they cost? Number two, are they doing something that I might want to figure out what it's doing, and then go from there. This is another thing that Meta has, are glasses, and we laughed about this when Ray-Ban, when it was first came out, that Ray-Ban and Meta were going to team up and do glasses, but now they're with AI, they're able to do more with these. Now, these aren't glasses that you look into and see things, but it's in the earpieces. You can listen, and it connects to your phone, and there's AI things you can do with it. You can tell it to do certain things. It will listen to you, and it will talk to you.
All
And
right.
it's $299, by the way.
US.
US.
Bob, the clock is made. A clock is
The clock where the time is made of news headlines. So as the minutes change, so will the news headline. And actually, that video that I produced about the Social Security was one of the headlines that had popped up when I was looking at this new AI thing, and it's free. It's a website.
Oh,
It's neat. Every minute, new headlines pop up
Right.
with the time. So if you're not actively using your computer, you can use it as a kind of a screensaver thing. But it'll give you the headlines, and you can just kind of glance over and look at the headlines for
cool.
each minute.
Yeah, and when you click on it, you actually go to the article that it talks about.
Pretty cool. Rats, rootkits, and ransomware. That sounds like a security thing, Bob.
It is. It's another video worth looking at.
We may even be playing that on a future Monday show. And also Time Zones Digital, a closer look.
Another AI. This one is also free. And it gives you the difference in lots of things. How many hours difference between you and where you want to be. It can use you as a constant reference and then tell you how or what kind of difference is between your time and where you need to be. One way to make sure that if you don't go to many different places, whether it's in person or via Zoom or some other way, that you're not late or not early.
You know,
Yeah,
I had
hold on. With Bob
Okay.
doing 30 shows this week or this month with all the security stuff, in October first, you're going to use this, right? Like, because you're doing all these across the country.
Yes.
And they're all in different time zones.
Yeah, but by now, I have done so many in all the different places that I pretty much know what the difference is between me and the other place. But it's still always nice to confirm and make sure.
Sorry, Hugh, go ahead.
This past Saturday, I had 2 presentations at 1:00 in the afternoon, but they were in different time zones, and I had to go to each one and say, what time is it in this city and what time is it in this city, so I could figure out. And I realized that they were 2-hour difference. I had an hour between presentations, and it worked out just right.
Yeah, if you install this, Huey, I added this to my favorites, and it's very simple. Like I said, it's totally free. The only thing you have to share with it, if you want to, it's not necessary, not required, is your location.
Yeah.
So that it can get you the difference between where you are and wherever you need to be.
So I wanted to ask you guys if you ever added up all the little items you pay for Google. Like, we've got Google One, we've got we've got with our YouTube, we've got YouTube Premium, we've got all the things that we pay for. If you all add it up, it sort of comes out to holy mackerel.
It's scary, yeah.
I know, it's great. So Google is actually looking. This is an article by Andrew Authority. Google is actually, there's a rumor out that they're looking at a bundled subscription level again. They just removed the last one they had because it was a bit weird, but they're now looking at a new subscription where it's going to add everything in and give you a monthly price. So interesting. But when you add it all up, we're paying for a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
If
Now,
they
is
make
that
it where you can choose what services you want to be part of that bundle, that would wind up nice. But otherwise, there's lots of things they'll include that you probably aren't
Probably aren't
using.
going to use, yeah.
So you may
Yeah,
wind up still coming out the same way.
I didn't read this article. Is it just Google
Yes.
or Alphabet
No,
type programs, or is it any?
it's well, it says that
It's all the ones that Google or Alphabet has out there.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Net.
So for instance, Pictory would not be included in that.
No.
Nest,
We're
like
talking
it's Nest
about
Aware,
Nest products. We're talking about
Google
YouTube
One.
TV and all of those
Yeah.
kinds of things.
Right. Anyway, interesting. I thought that was an interesting. But you're right, Bob. If they bundle a bunch of things that you're not going to use, what's the point? All right, this was actually an interesting one, and one that I think people should have a look at. If you are, Walmart will offer a wireless phone service starting at $4.08 a month.
And
They
this
really
goes through Verizon, just so you know.
And it is interesting. So all I'm saying is have a look if you are looking for. I keep saying this to everybody over and over and over again. You have to constantly be reviewing your cell phone plans because there's a lot. You may be there may be a better deal for you out there in which you can save a lot of money. And Walmart has recently just really got into this in a big way. So that's a pretty reasonable amount, $5 or $4 a month. So if you are a senior, you're not, you have, you're not. This actually I think is good service. I read the article and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but have a look at the article and it's worth. As Bob says, that's through Verizon. So
Yeah, for $50
that's
a
the first
year.
thing I checked. And since Verizon still won't acknowledge the cell tower I have across the street, this may be something I'm looking at.
This was an article by Paul Thurrott. Just let you know that Google Podcasts app will shut down in 2024. This is not YouTube Podcasts, but the Google Podcasts app will be shutting down in 2024 as YouTube Music is taking over. All right. So I'll just let you know about that.
What do you use to view podcasts or listen to podcasts?
I use Pocket Casts. I've used that for years.
Bob, what do you use?
I produce them. I don't listen to many.
I've been using Spotify only because one of the ones
Yes.
that I was using went away. But I've got some podcasts that I listen to almost every day.
Yeah, well, I'm on Spotify and through many others. So, and that's, if I do listen to one, that's the app that I use is Spotify.
Well, I find them great to go to sleep to.
Huey, backup plans on lunar soil?
Yeah. And NASA is talking about sending backup computers and information to the moon and store it there.
Okay.
Are they
Is
going
this-
underground? Because if not, what happens if they get hit with the little meteors and crap?
Well, I don't
That's
know.
a lot more prevalent on the moon than it is here on Earth. They don't have
They're
the
talking
atmosphere.
about, well, no, they're talking about doing it on the soil. But that's an
okay.
interesting thing. And how do you protect it if one of the other countries goes up and
Yeah.
lands on the moon? They can go steal all of our data.
I don't know. Bob's got another video out on data breach.
If you're involved in a data breach, here's what you need to know.
There you go. There was a couple of other ones.
You better watch the time too.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes left. So Bard's Google Workspace integrations fall short of its potential. There was another one just a minute here. This is interesting. LG dives into foldable laptops. So this is actually, the foldable phones have been cranking out, but LG is going to do that. Let me just quickly. And here Amazon's new home internet service will launch its first satellite tomorrow. So yes, they are getting some satellites up, just to let you know. Let's just have a look.
Another video from Bob.
Yeah, I think that's about. I think that's about it. We're just down to the last minute. Do we have any more comments before we go?
No, we're caught up.
We're all caught up. There we go. That's great.
We were so interesting, people didn't bother to make any comments.
There you go. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming. We'll be back next week. We'll see everybody again in a week's time when next week we'll be covering Pixel 8, which will be out next week. So that'll all be about Pixel 8, but we won't actually probably get the phone. It'll probably be released in December or something, right? Anyway, the big announcement will be this coming week. But again, small part of the market, but gets a lot of press. Anyway,
I haven't heard. Have you heard when the new iPads will be announced? Is that next month?
I'm not sure. Don't know. But we'll be covering it. We'll be covering it.
No, that was iPhones. No.
That was iPhones.
Yeah. Not iPads.
We'll be covering it. So when it does happen. All right. Listen, thanks everyone for coming. We will be seeing you soon. All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.